Hello, it's me, French Ted, and we are here for episode number 10 of our local to global. And we have got a very special episode today. Not only is it the new year, but we are bringing in the new year with a new title and a tournament to decide that title. I'm really putting some of my wrestlers through the ringer today because this tournament will happen tonight. And the final will take place at Lariat League in London. As you can see here, William Regal is announcing the Tournament of Nights. Let me just bring up the graphic showing the rundown of the tournament. So as you can see here, we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams. I've managed to create 8 teams. Some are teams that exist in real life. Some are not. So in the time that you've seen me, I've hired a bunch of people. So I'll just quickly run through the teams. So we've got Big T and Little T. That is Big T Justice and Tate Mayfairs. We've got Funky Phantasma, which is a new team. That is Ryusuke Taguchi from New Japan and El Hijo del Fantasma, also known as Santos Escobar from WWE. He has recently left them. We then have Robert Sharp and Oscar Loeb, who are a tag team in real life apparently. Loeb is on excursion, I believe, from New Japan, so we've only got him on a 9-month deal, but I can't really see me keeping him unless he super impresses me. We've then got the Swan and the Scotsman, which of course is Cara Noir and Grado. And then on the other side, we've got Cassilla, which is Cassius and Priscilla. Gunpowder, which is Bobby Guns and Timothy Thatcher. Timothy Thatcher, who put in one hell of a performance in the last episode. Mustache Mountain, as you saw in the last one, we bit the bullet and hired Trent Seven. So Tyler Bate and Trent Seven are teaming up for this tournament. And then finally, we have got McGee and Moser. I believe that's Dan McGee and Damon Moser. So that is our tournament. Unfortunately, though, the night before this event was scheduled to happen, we unfortunately had an injury to one of our members. He received quite a bad concussion, so he's out for about a month and a half. Luckily for us, that's only 2 shows, but still it's bad news because this is a team that I was really excited to see in action. That does mean that Funky Phantasma are out of the tournament. They have had to forfeit due to a concussion from El Hijo del Fantasma. So we won't see any Funky Phantasma tonight, which is annoying because it's a team that I have made myself and I got quite excited about the prospect of them. But that does mean that Big T and Little T get a bye, so they are straight into the semi-final tonight, which means they're only wrestling once. Yes, you heard that correctly. The quarterfinals and the semi-finals are taking place tonight. So yeah, that's what I meant by putting them through the ringer. But we did hire Ryusuke Taguchi, someone that I'm hoping we use often, depending on how he does. So as a thank you for, coming all the way over from Japan for this tournament, we don't want it to be a wasted travel. So he will be in the main event tonight, taking on Ashton Smith for the King of the Lariat League title. And we also have a number 1 contenders match for the Queen of the Lariat League title, a 3-way match between Shakara, the former Queen of the Lariat League, Aaliyah James, who's been crazy good lately, and Nixon Newell, who is probably the best woman on our roster, bar our champion. So yeah, super action-packed LLW live. Obviously, this is not a 1-hour show. I've bumped this up to a 2-hour special, but it will return to a 1-hour show as well. And let's just return to the game. Okay, and as you can also see, we are on a Monday week 2. This is because doing Saturday shows now I don't think are going to work because a lot of our talent are hired now by Ring of Honor, WXW and a few other promotions, and all of them promotions are on Saturdays. For some reason, I didn't think Ring of Honor was a Saturday promotion, but it is apparently, which is really annoying. So we're gonna probably move LLW Live to Mondays now, just to avoid that, because we're not first in priority for any of the Ring of Honor or WXW guys, and that is a decent 6-7 of our roster now, which is a little bit annoying. But we're not looking at that. We're looking at tonight's show, and it should be a big one. So Big T, Little T, as you know, are already through. So let's jump to the next match, which is Sharp and Loeb versus the Swan and the Scotsman. So in a bout that had great heat and good wrestling, the Swan and the Scotsman get the win. They have booked their place in the semi-finals tonight against Big T, Little T. They win in 15 minutes when Grado pins Oscar Loeb with the wee boot. Cara Noir head and shoulders above everyone else. That makes sense, although only with a 60. We have had to kind of play around with the time, so we're going to get the negatives here for a little bit too short on a couple matches, but it doesn't impact the score too greatly. Oscar Loeb with a 48, which is pretty good. Maybe we should pay a little bit more attention to him. Robert Sharp with a 38, Grado with a 40, that's fine. He debuted his old school face gimmick and got a rating of poor. I thought he was a heel. That might be why it got rated as poor, but we can change that gimmick on the fly, so that's not a problem. But yeah, Swan and Scotsman through, and probably one of the favourites, although there is Moustache Mountain on the other side, who are already a very well-known, incredible tag team. Following this, we've got the next tag team bout, and that is Casilla taking on Gunpowder. And in a superb match, Gunpowder get the win in 12 minutes, one of our shortest matches, when Timothy Thatcher makes Cassius tap with the Thatcher stretch. And of course, Thatcher head and shoulders above everyone else with a 75. Priscilla with a 33, Cassius with a 29. Priscilla will slow down a little bit just because they have bruised kidneys, but not too much to stop them from wrestling. And yeah, pretty good performances all around. Bobby Guns with a 63, that's not bad. His gimmick got over as poor, which sucks, so we're going to have to reassess that because poor gimmicks do bring down performances slightly. Let's just take a quick look. Swagger gimmick, there's no bonuses or negatives. So that means Gunpowder are in the semi-final. Very exciting. Moving on to our third and final quarter-final match. It sounds weird saying that a quarter-final only has 3 matches, but it is Moustache Mountain taking on McGee and Moser. And in another exceptional match, Moustache Mountain defeat McGee and Moser in 19 minutes when Tyler Bate pins Damon Moser with a Tyler Driver 97. And another standout performance, Tyler Bate. So Cara Noir, Timothy Thatcher, Tyler Bate all standing out in their matches. Can they continue that form? But just recapping the gimmick change, Trent Seven has got a adequate gimmick. Okay, that's fair enough. That's fine. They're both holding their mustaches because they are Moustache Mountain. Following this, though, we do get a cheeky little interview where William Regal talks to Trent Seven and Tyler Bate, welcomes Trent to LLW, and they said that they're here, they mean business, and they're coming out as the Knights of the Lariat League. So that is very exciting stuff. So just to quickly confirm the bracket, let's bring another graphic up. So as we can see here, we have got Big T, Little T through to the next round just by default. The Swan and the Scotsman will be taking on a very fresh Big T, Little T in the semi-final coming up. We'll also have Gunpowder taking on Moustache Mountain. 2 great performances from both of them, so it'll be very exciting to see what happens there. But next, I believe it is Big T, Little T taking on the Swan and the Scotsman. And in a superb match, it is the Swan and the Scotsman that get the win. Wow, I mean, Big T, Little T were fresh as a daisy, but apparently that wasn't enough. Cara Noir made Big T submit with a sleeper hold. So let's just handle Big T's gimmick change here. Rating of great. Way awesome. Glad about that. And yeah, so that means that the Swan and the Scotsman have booked their place in our night of the Tournament of Nights final, meaning at Lariat League in London, they will take on the winner of Gunpowder and Moustache Mountain. Again, looking at the performances, a little more tame performance here from Cara Noir with a 59, but obviously the numbers are going to go down slightly because they have already wrestled tonight. Luckily, though, they do get a 2-week rest, well, those that aren't booked elsewhere. And swiftly moving on, we've got our final semi-final match. It is Gunpowder taking on Moustache Mountain. This, in my opinion, would be one hell of a match in real life. So let's see who comes out on top. And in an exceptional 74 rated match, Gunpowder get the win. They defeat Mustache Mountain in 22 minutes when Bobby Guns pins Trent Seven with the Marlboro Plex, named famously after his favourite brand of cigarettes. And that means that Gunpowder are facing the Swan and the Scotsman in our Knights of the Lariat League final. One of those teams will become our champion. Let's just quickly look at these numbers before we jump back and look at the bracket. Great performances here. Timothy Thatcher with a 79. Tyler Bate also with a 79, going toe to toe. Bobby Guns with a 55, which is a little disappointing, but Trent Seven killing it with a 47. That's pretty good for him. Although, it doesn't seem like it. That's quite good. He's getting on a bit now. Remember, we're in 2025. We're not in 2023 anymore. So everyone in this game is 2 years older. So they're all a little bit slower. Some people, though, a little bit more seasoned. I mean, Tyler Bates probably in the prime of his life now. So, yeah. But let's just jump back to the bracket to confirm this. Just looking here, we can see that Regal has announced this. But let's look at a bracket, or the graphic that I made. So here we go. It is the Swan and the Scotsman taking on Gunpowder for the Knights, plural, of the Lariat League Championship. And that will happen at Lariat League in London. It will be a title-filled Lariat League in London, 1 hour long, 3 matches. King of the Lariat League, Queen of the Lariat League, and the Knights of the Lariat League will main event that show. But heading back to our show here, we have our next segment, which is a 3-way match between Nixon Null, Shakara, and Aaliyah James. And in a superb match, Aaliyah James gets the win. Wow! Again, with matches like this, I don't pick a winner, so I did not think out of these three Aaliyah would be the one to come out on top, but she gets the win and she defeats Nixon Null and Shakara by pinning Shakara with a springboard cross body, a 56 overall. That was pretty good. And Nixon Null got a 55, Shakara with a 47, and Aaliyah James with a 45. The worst performing, but getting the win. So just goes to show that anything can happen in LLW. But that's not it. We've got one final match. God, what a barn burner of a show this has been. We have got Ashton Smith, King Ashton Smith, the King of the Lariat League, taking on a debutante, a Japanese debutante, and one of my favourite wrestlers from back in day. We've got the funky one himself, Ryusuke Taguchi. And don't worry, Funky Phantasmo will happen at some point. Funky Phantasmo, one of them will happen in the future. As a why not? They will get a title opportunity when El Hijo del Fantasma has recovered. But before that, he's getting a King of the Lariat League opportunity. So let's find out what happens in this match. 54. Fine. In an exceptional match, though, yeah. Ashton Smith defeats Ryusuke Taguchi. I mean, we could have all predicted that with the GTS, and this is defense number 23 of Ashton's title reign, or Ashton's reign as King of the Lariat League, with a 68 performance. Ryusuke Taguchi debuts his funky weapon gimmick, and it comes across as very good. Of course it does. 37 from Taguchi. Oh, sorry, just not the mic then. Not the best, but keep in mind he's old as balls now. I think he's 45, 46. And he never got the best numbers anyway when he was in his prime. So yeah, pretty short match because Taguchi couldn't do any more than 15 minutes. But that is how we end our show. We have retained. Ashton has retained once again. We have Aaliyah James facing Aisha Ray at Lariat League in London. And Ashton Smith's opponent is undecided, but I'm sure it will be something fun or interesting. I don't know. But let's finish the show and see how we did our first 2-hour show. And we got a 58. Decent. I will take that. Yeah, I'm happy with all of the matches. Everything bar the opener above a 50. Oscar Loeb impressed me with his performances, so I'm going to have to keep an eye on him. Gunpowder, ruthless, taking on and defeating Mustache Mountain in one hell of a match. And yeah, really happy with this and how this went down. So just to confirm again, we'll have 3 matches at Lariat League London, which we're going to just jump straight to unless anything crazy happens. And that will be Ashton Smith defending his King of the Lariat League title against somebody or somebodies. Aaliyah James earning her match against Aisha Ray for the Queen of the Lariat League title. And then our inaugural championship match, the tournament final, it will be Gunpowder taking on the Swan and the Scotsman for the Knights of the Lariat League title. Let's just quickly make our speech. We had a few debutantes this time round. Bobby Guns was one. I believe Trent Seven was one. And as was Oscar Loeb. So let's hug them all, because that is what we do. Awesome. Make speech. Nice. Cool. Just while Oscar stares into your soul, I'm going to come out of this, and I'll see you guys at Lariat League in London. And here we are for Lariat League in London, which should be a really good event. We've got all three titles now on the line, including our big main event, the final of our Tournament of Knights. It is the Swan and the Scotsman, Cara Noir and Grado, taking on Gunpowder, Bobby Guns and Timothy Thatcher. But first, we also have our King of the Lariat League and our Queen of the Lariat League defending their title. And William Regal here is opening the show and running down the card, so I'm just going to confirm it again for you guys. The opening match will be a three-way match. It is Ashton Smith, our reigning, defending, one and only King of the Lariat League, defending his title against both members of Mustache Mountain. So he will be facing Tyler Bate and Trent Seven in three-way action. And then following that, Aaliyah James, I think, surprised us all by earning her way into a title match against Aisha Ray. And again, as always, with the Queen of the Lariat League, I like to just see what happens. I haven't marked a winner, so could Aaliyah James perform another upset? We'll have to wait and see. And then, of course, the final, which we've already mentioned, the Scotsman and the Swan and the Scotsman, however you want to say it, Grado and Cara Noir taking on Timothy Thatcher and Bobby Guns, aka Gunpowder. So hopefully this is going to be a really fun show. There's a few guys that haven't been on the shows in a couple of weeks, such as my boy Gursinder Singh. So we're going to have to start seeing him from the next show onwards, just to try and keep him a little bit happier. But yeah, trying to balance this. We might have to just increase our shows to hour and a half, 2 hours going forward. But yeah, this should be a fun one. And this should be a history-making episode, because we're crowning our Knights of the Lariat League, the first in what's going to be an incredible lineage for our tag team division. But let's stop talking. Let's get William Regal back in the booth on commentary, and let's begin with our first match. Ashton Smith taking on Tyler Bate and Trent Seven. 62, nice. So in an exceptional match, he did it again. I put it as work the crowd when I didn't need to, because it wasn't the opening match. But in an exceptional match, Ashton Smith, of course he does, he gets the win. He defeats Trent Seven and Tyler Bate in 22 minutes when he pins Trent Seven with the GTS. And this is defense number 24. Who can stop Ashton Smith? Who knows? Because I don't. Trent Seven was a weak link in this match, which, you know, isn't surprising. He is getting old. Tyler Bate carrying it in some ways with a 74, Ashton with a 68. Yeah, really great match. In this match, it was very much a kind of 2-on-1 affair, Ashton being slightly double teamed by Tyler and Trent. But there were moments when Trent was, you know, trying to take advantage of Tyler, and obviously Trent in his older age just wasn't fast enough, strong enough, wise enough, because of our wise young man Tyler Bate. Took advantage of that, in which Ashton then took further advantage of that and managed to get the win. So the King retains and keeps his long reign going. So that's very, very exciting. Very excited to see who does dethrone Ashton, because I feel like I've booked myself into a corner here and made him too good. But we'll have to wait and see. 62, really good opening match. Following this, though, we've got Aisha Ray, our queen, our two-time queen of the Lariat League, taking on Aaliyah James, who is very much the underdog. She was the underdog in the three-way. Someone I wasn't even going to add into that match until I was like, yeah, why not? So she's definitely earned her place. So let's see what happens in that match. In a superb match, Aisha Ray gets the win. We're all a little bit disappointed about that, aren't we? Aaliyah James couldn't do it. She did her best, but in 15 minutes, she loses with the tree slam, Aisha Ray retaining and holding onto her belt a little bit longer. Aisha with a 57 and Aaliyah James with a 40, not too bad. Got the crowd buzzing though in a 54 rated match, so pretty good. But now we are here for the main event, the finals of our tournament of nights to crown our knights of the Lariat League. The Swan and the Scotsman, Grado and Cara Noir, taking on Gunpowder, Bobby Guns and Timothy Thatcher. Let's hope this match is awesome. Let's go. 69, I'll take that. Nice. In an exceptional match, Gunpowder get the win, and they defeat the Swan and the Scotsman when Timothy Thatcher pins Grado with a London Bridge is falling down. How apt. What a name for a finisher. London Bridge is falling down at Lariat League in London, which means that Gunpowder, Bobby Guns, Timothy Thatcher are our first Knights of the Lariat League. And looking at the performance here, Timothy Thatcher with a 78 performance, Cara Noir behind with a 63, Bobby Guns a little bit behind that with a 55, and Grado with a 42. Yeah, what a match. 69 overall, and what a way to end the show with Gunpowder holding the belts high and Bobby Guns being told off for trying to light a cigarette in celebration, because you can't smoke indoors, Bobby, you simply cannot. But that ends our show. Let's see how we did. 64, I think that might be our best or one of our best shows. We also got a sold out Weymouth Pavilion, which holds 800 people, so that's awesome to see as well. We're gonna have to congratulate our new winners, so Bobby Guns and Timothy Thatcher. Let's just quickly praise for a great performance, and of course I think we've got to point out Ashton Smith as a good example, so let's make those speeches. Bobby Guns is pleased, look at him. Thatcher, he doesn't look it, but he's definitely pleased. And then Ashton Smith, of course he's pleased. He still is our king of the Lariat League. But that ends our special tournament run. We now have tag team champions, which means they will be defended as and when Gunpowder are available, because of course they're both in WXW, so it can be a little bit hard to get hold of them. But we've switched it up. As I said, we were going to change Lariat League Live, which I've moved to a Monday. Was it a Monday? No, I think I just did Thursday, week 1. I think it was Thursday, so it's every 2 weeks on a Thursday. We've got LLW Live and Lariat League in London. Of course, we were in Weymouth today, but it still counts as the south of England, so leave me alone. But let's get to the end of the month now. Let's see, look at our finances, look at our popularity more importantly, and then maybe take a cheeky look at our title prestige too. So yeah, I'll see you guys on February 1st. Okay, we are here in February. We're here in February, and you can see that we finished first again out of all the Southern England people. I honestly thought it'd be a bit harder to, you know, finish higher than everyone else, but I guess Progress are our biggest competition, and I would say that we're probably on par, if not a little bit better than them, so that is great to see. An extra 5% boost in the next month again. We made 89,000 last month. We are spending more money on workers, but we can afford to because we're making money thanks to the consortium. It would be really interesting to see how much we actually make without the consortium, but I'm not going to risk being kicked out or / losing all of that extra money. So yeah, looking at how much money we made, ignore the alliance, 21,000 from sponsors, a little bit from there, an extra 2,000 from ticket sales. So yeah, ignoring alliance funds, it looks like we're growing each month on those numbers, so that's always good to see. Let's jump to our titles just to see. We're now 40 prestige on this title. That is really good to see. And our Knights of the Lariat League, it's a mid card, so it's going to start a little bit lower, but I'm assuming what the hell was that? Compare prestige? No, track prestige. Yeah, still 25. That makes sense. And then Queen of Lariat League 35. Has that gone up? No, it's kind of sat around 35 now, which is fine. But yeah, Aisha Ray really making that title her own now. She's had it for 163 days. But no one can beat Ashton Smith. He's had it for over a year now. Incredible. And they've had it for 11 days. But what an 11 days it's been. Let's just look at the show history. Is this our best show that we did? A 64 weight top 100s? No, it's not. This was our number one show. It was, oh, of course it was. It was that big main event, Ashton Smith and Timothy Thatcher. Yeah, that makes sense. Our best show of the year, and our second best show of the year was our first one of, well, our best show of the series was our best show last year, and our best show this, don't worry, doesn't matter. The only other thing to look at now is our popularity. There we go. 33. Oh, we are two away from being small. That is very, very exciting. Let's look at the progress. We jumped up big time. So we must have gone in as like a 31.5 because when we checked in December we were a 31. So yeah, that spillover. Oh, amazing. So that means March. I'm saying April, the latest. We are going to be 35 and small, and we're just going to keep growing from there. So when we hit small, I'm going to jump back into the TV deals of broadcasting and see if we can get a weekly TV show, because why not? Let's do it. That would be very, very exciting. But yeah, let's just take a look at El Hijo, because poor guy got injured literally as we were going to use him. Him and Taguchi would have been such a fun partnership. But yeah, there's a bunch of people leaving WWE and stuff like that, so there's a lot of great talent out there. Let's just look at the size and just see if we've leapfrogged anyone bigger. We are now in the top half, which is awesome to see. 31st in the world. DPW, a place that I'm very fond of. We are one behind. They've got AJ Styles. What? They've got AJ bloody Styles. I mean, how much is that costing them? 1,700 per show. That's not even that bad. 26k a month. That's not that bad. Wow. I'm speechless. They've got AJ Styles. Awesome. All right, so let's see who's below us. Defy. I'm just going to look here and see if there's anyone we could like steal. I mean, straight off the bat, Swerve Strickland would be awesome. Mance Warner as well. I'm a big fan of that guy. RJ City, does he wrestle? He is wrestling. What's his match history like? He hasn't had a single match this year. Let's go all years. None. So they're not using him as a wrestler. That's interesting. Who else do we have here? So I'm just looking at the names here now. Stu Grayson, Lance Storm, Lufisto. No one really there. WXW, and we've taken a few of their guys already. Axel Tischer's a guy that I feel like would be pretty awesome to have at some point. Marvelous. El Desperado would be cool. Although he must be getting on a bit now. I need to keep in mind that he's 41 now. I need to keep reminding myself we're in 2025, not 2023, so some names might not be a good idea. Rev Pro or above Progress. Okay, I mean, that kind of makes sense. Progress's heyday was back when like Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne and stuff were there, so that kind of makes sense, yeah. I mean, Will Ospreay's on hiatus, so he can ignore him. Millie McKenzie's definitely someone I want to bring in. She's a beast of a lady. And then you've got all of these new promotions. They haven't got anyone amazing there. They got Prince Devitt, he's available. Cedric, Austin Aries. Bad Dude Tito's pretty cool. Soraya Breezus. Breezus? Is that Tyler Breeze? He goes by Breezus now. Jacob Fatu, he's decent. I'm just going to quickly click through these now. Anyone standing out? No. They're probably going to get worse as we go down. Just because they're smaller companies. Robbie Eagles is cool. PWG is still killing it with their awesome talent. Scorpio Sky, Deonna Purrazzo, Trinity, Odinson, Session with Martha, Chavo. I mean, he's obviously not wrestling. He's probably a road agent. Then this is coming to people I'm not too sure of. I mean, we know Mei Suruga. We know Gato Move Pro. We love a bit of that. And then Major League Wrestling, which I'm surprised is so far down. 64th in the world. I think there was 50 or 49 when we first started the save. So many new promotions have come out of nowhere. And I'm really surprised that MLW is so far down. Do you think it's because of their schedule? Can we see their schedule? Am I blind? Events and TV, yeah. So they've just got an event every Sunday and Saturday. They've got nothing else. They probably had to cancel these, haven't they? Because they went down in size. Because that's got beIN Sports. That must have started with a TV deal and it's now run out. That sucks. Yeah, they've only just started these. So week 1 July. It's a yearly. This is why they're struggling. They're having 2 shows a year and that's it. Wow. Terrible. It's contact. What can we do here? Attempt to take over? No. Because even though I love a bunch of them, Mandy Sachs, Calvin Tankman, Willie Mack, Axel Dieter, Levi Cooper. Yeah, this is Raven, Jacob Fatu. It actually isn't terrible. Breeze, is that... So he's Breeze here, but he's Breezus somewhere else. Savio Vega, he doesn't wrestle anymore, does he? Occasionally, of course he does. Alex Hammerstone is a scary looking human. I've just realised I'm just chatting shit now. Let's ignore this. But the news is we're 33 in popularity. We're going to be 35 very soon. I'm very excited. We've had a successful episode here. We've gone up in pop. We've made a ton of money. We've got tag team champions. And yeah, we're building one hell of a roster. So I'm going to end the episode here. Next episode, we're into February. We've just got our regular LLW Live, Lariat League in London. And hopefully in the next episode or 2, we will be small. And that's when the ball can start rolling that much faster. So once again, thank you very much, guys. Please like, comment, share. If there's anyone you can think of that you like, oh, this is an unknown guy, let's build him up while you're still small, because at this size we can still bring in someone with 0 pop and turn him into a star nice and easy. So yeah, flood the comments. I'm happy to sign anyone. Keep in mind we are in 2025. A lot of people are retired, like Sheamus, for example, is now retired because he was on my shortlist and now I've had to take him off because yeah, he's not wrestling anymore, among a bunch of other random names. But yeah, thank you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.